So when I got to primary 6, I knew that before you knew it, a marriage would be arranged for me and I'll be off. And I didn't want this. I had this deep-seated passion to go to school, to be educated, to continue to secondary school.
It's been some time since I had this video with my friend Lami Namonu, Professor Lami. And between that time and now, she has backed herself another fellowship. She's now a fellow of the Science Teachers Association of Nigeria. Congratulations. And
thank you.
An honor well deserved for all you're doing in the field of science, with the Girls in Science, with your charity gifts.
Girls in Future Tertiary Science.
Girls in Future Tertiary Science. So there is so much you've been doing in the field of science. And to have this award is a great one that I would want to celebrate with you. And we would celebrate here as your people who love to listen to you and whom you've blessed and helped so much. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Busola. Thank you.
Hi and welcome. You're here today with me and my friend and sister, Lami, once again. Lami is no stranger to this channel. No, she isn't. And if you haven't met her, she's Lami Namonu. And if you've met her again and again, kudos to you. That means you're often here. What I may not have said is that Lami is a professor of chemistry. When I first met her years ago, she was doing her postdoctoral research. She's come a long way from then, as they do, to become professors. And I am always so very proud of you, sis.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. I'm always proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, ma'am, professor.
C'est moi.
You are not just pleased to be a professor of chemistry. You seem to have this life passion for recruiting girls into STEM. What's your business recruiting girls into STEM? And really, what is STEM all about?
Wow, thank you so very much, Blossom with B, for your very kind words. I appreciate you. Yes, I'm a professor of chemistry, all right, but my desire, goes beyond the laboratory and the test tubes we work with, when we do our chemistry practicals. First of all, I think we need to clarify what STEM means.
Sure. STEM
is an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. STEM. So, your question is, what's my business?
Recruiting girls
into STEM. Yes, I will go back to how this passion started.
Okay.
You see, I was born the second in a family of 9 children. The first 6
family.
Yes, very large. The first 6 girls, and the 3 boys came much later. Came later. So, as a second child, I watched my elder sister given away in marriage after the primary school. Of course, I knew that fate was awaiting me.
Sure.
So when I got into, she was just 2 years ahead of me in the primary school. So when I got to primary 6, I knew that before you knew it, a marriage would be arranged for me and I'll be off. And I didn't want this. I had this deep-seated passion to go to school, to be educated, to continue to secondary school. And I watched, then it was common entrance forms. I watched common entrance forms being bought, deadlines passing for this one, for that one, for this one.
Different schools.
Different schools, yes. But my father said none of his girls will go to secondary school.
Oh.
And remember, he has 6 girls first.
Yeah.
But he said none of the girls will go into secondary school.
Why?
Because the girls will go and get pregnant, according to him. get pregnant out of wedlock, and bring shame and disgrace to the family.
So it was better he married them off.
Off.
When that happened.
Very good. So he was waiting for the boys to come.
Was that a common thing then that girls go to secondary school and get pregnant?
Well, a few were happening. Even it happens now.
It still does
It
happen,
still
but
happens,
it wasn't the...
Yeah, it wasn't as if it was. But that was his thinking. That was his belief. And he didn't want that shame and disgrace for
It
his
wasn't
family.
only your father.
No,
In my own case, it wasn't that we'll go to school and get pregnant. It was that they will get married anyway.
Okay.
Well, not my dad's thinking,
Yeah.
but that was it thinking
General.
that was general, common around when I was growing up.
Yeah.
They get married anyway. Why waste your money sending them to secondary
Oh,
school?
exactly. So this is an added reason now. He said his daughters will not go to secondary school. So, but I had this unquenchable desire to go to secondary school. So it was now the last form, common entrance form into secondary school. The one into unity schools, federal government colleges. It was a unified exam. I think it is still like that now in Nigeria. So, of course, the deadline was approaching. My father would not budge. He would not give the small money, just 70 kobo that was needed to purchase the form.
But it wasn't about the money.
It wasn't about the money.
It was about the entire idea of you going to secondary school.
My mother had the money, of course, but she wouldn't beg it. It's
That
a
would be
woman's...
disobedience.
It's not a woman's word, it's a man's word. That would be gross disobedience. So, 4 days to the deadline, well, I didn't know what I was doing there, but I was crying. I could not eat. I refused to eat. I refused to drink, and I was crying out my heart. I was just crying day and night. My father would go to work. He was a civil servant. I'll cry till he returns, and he never saw me, but my mother knew. So on the 3rd day...
And he was educated.
Well, he wasn't educated.
Okay.
He wasn't educated.
Okay.
Yeah, we did primary school. He knew the value of education, but he didn't want his girls to go to secondary school. So on the 3rd day of my,
Hunger strike.
That was hunger strike. I didn't know what it was then. He returned from work, and my mother went to him, joined me crying, took me by the hand and said, "Your daughter is dying in this house. You will not bring small money for her to go to school. You will not." Before then, my mother had gone to bring an uncle of ours that was educated, Uncle George Bako. And he begged. My father said no. My head teacher, the head teacher in my school, sent Teacher Suleiman, I remember the names very well, to come and beg my father. My father said no. So my mother now held me by the hand, took me to him and said, "Your daughter is dying right before your eyes." That was when my father now gave this money. And the rest, they say, is history. I went to Federal Government College and graduated with distinction in secondary school. So this is where the hunger came from. There are still families today in Nigeria, in parts of Nigeria, where their girls are not allowed to go to school. There are families outside Nigeria, in sub-Saharan Africa, where girls are not allowed to go to school. So that's the desire. That was where the passion, emanated from. And so now I became a scientist. So it was not just that I wanted girls to go into school. I didn't want another girl to go on hunger strike to be able to go to school. But I wanted them to, if you go to school, yes, please do science. Why science?
Why science?
Exactly. Because you see, when you talk about the economy, world economy is gravitating towards science. This is not to downplay the arts courses. We can't do without arts courses.
You can't do without
us. We can't, I tell you. So, but when you talk about nations and development, economic development and all of that, science, STEM, is the bedrock of development. And let's face it, women make about 50% of the population of any country. So if you sideline women from science, it means a half of the population is being, kept redundant out of science. So any country that wants, to occupy her space in the Committee of Nations must get the women involved, women and girls involved in STEM.
Say it, Prof.
Yes, thank you so much. So that basically is what is driving me. It is such a deep passion that, and what I do is that I have an outfit. Yes.
Gift.
Gifts. Yes.
So tell us about gifts.
Okay. Gifts means Girls in Future Tertiary Science. That's an acronym. So I work to recruit girls into science, and so that they not only do the secondary school science, but that they pick science courses and careers, so that even in the tertiary, they remain in it. Because sometimes you discover that in the beginning of the tertiary education, you have many girls in some science courses, in some technology courses, in some engineering courses, and, well, a few maths classes. But they drop. The number of girls
you told
drops.
me about recruit.
Yes.
Remain.
Yes.
Okay.
And progress.
Progress.
R squared P.
Okay.
R squared P. Yes.
I'm an intelligent girl.
Oh, yeah. So, recruitment, I work, towards recruitment.
What do you do to recruit?
Good. So the R squared P is recruitment, retention, and progression.
Yeah.
What do I do to recruit?
Yes. Tell us.
Yes. You see, STEM also has come to have a double M. So it's not just science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but mathematics and medicine. But generally, medicine is a science, so we put it under science. So if you see double M on STEM, it's still okay. So recruitment, girls in the primary school, recruiting them into secondary school, so that when they get to senior secondary.
How do you do it? I've seen
very
some of
good.
it. Tell us.
Very good. So how I do it is like multifaceted. I speak to the girls on open days in schools. There are some schools that I go to and speak to
the primary schools.
Well, yeah. Catch them young. In primary schools too. I do that because I go to primary schools and then I carry out experiments to demystify science. And these are largely chemistry experiments. Oh, you would guess because I'm a chemist. So I carry out simple chemistry experiments that will relate chemistry and science to their everyday life, to their mother's kitchens. And you can hear them say, oh, wow, you understand? So that, will now fuel their desire for science. And before you know it, you discover that many girls are now deciding to choose.
And by the time you are leaving them, they're saying, we want to be like you. We want to be like you.
It's so moving. Blossom with P. It's so touching when you interact with these girls, do experiments with them, and they're so happy, and they're like, I want to be like you when I grow up.
And I like the way you respond to them. Like, how do you respond?
I'll tell them, oh no, you cannot be like me.
And that will be like so disappointing. Like, oh, we can't be like you.
Oh, then
what's the point of all this?
Yeah. Then I just tell them, you can't be like me. You're going to surpass me. Then they would go, they'll be so excited. You will be greater than I am. So that is how I catch them young in the primary school. Not just that, I also institute prizes in the primary schools. Yes.
I've seen some of your award ceremonies.
So I give prizes for the Professor Namono, it was Dr. Namono award for the best girl in science and the best girl in mathematics. So because those are the things that relate to STEM in the primary school. So I'll give those prizes,
now it's Professor Namono.
Now it's Professor Namono prize. So I institute prizes, and then with time, by God's grace, when the funds are more available, I should go ahead to do that in the secondary schools as well. And then we did it in the secondary school long ago, but for now funds are not so very available. So,
and you also do with parents. What do you do with parents?
Parents, very good. I speak to parents, thank you so much, on Parent Teachers Association days, not just one-on-one, whenever I have the opportunity. Even gatherings in church, I just squeeze it in and I tell them, because there are these stereotypes. Recruiting girls into STEM doesn't start at school. It should really start at home. There are these stereotypes and societal norms. Oh, science is not for girls. Oh, it's a no-go area for you. You should, just like they tell girls you shouldn't climb trees. You shouldn't. So that kind of thing. Oh, this is a boy area. You can't be an engineer. Why would you want to do that? And all of that. So parents do things that reinforce non-choice, a dislike of girls for science. So I try to talk to the parents and say, like when you buy baby dolls, only for your baby dolls, and you buy only for your girls, and you don't let the girls touch the cars, the aeroplanes, the trains, the Lego building blocks. What are you telling your girls? You're saying, don't be an engineer, don't play with those toys, just remain here, look after the children, look after the kitchen. You make a kitchen corner for your daughters. It's true, it's good. I'm married, I cook, I love cooking. But in addition to that, let your daughters play with educational toys that will expose them to STEM. These are some of the things I tell parents, because and they're like, really? They didn't know, but they unconsciously do it.
And you also do experiments for parents.
I do exactly. And no, that is when parents accompany their wards and children to festivals, science festivals and fairs, which we organize. And they are like, oh, wow, there is chemistry in what I'm doing in my kitchen.
Okay.
You know, that kind of thing. So the parents also, and the parents, my number is on in the public space. Parents call me, oh, my daughter wants to choose this, she wants to do this. One parent called me that the daughter did very well in science in one of the quizzes we did, and you know, she was one of the prize winners. And the woman called me that she wants to tell me that her daughter wants to leave science class, so you know, that kind of thing.
Okay,
so
I wanted to encourage
the girl to stay in science. So you see, retention.
Yeah.
That is it. Sometimes she might have her reasons. Maybe it's peer pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe her friends were leaving and then she felt, or maybe somebody has spoken to her, it's not for girls. Oh, you won't do well.
And did the girl stay back?
She stayed back.
And I was just going to ask what outcome you have seen.
Yeah. Oh, she stayed back. She stayed back. And in fact, there is a student in the university right now that when he saw my name, I was teaching his class a course. He saw my name. Of course, first day I introduced myself. He came to me later and said, please, is it the Namonu that instituted prizes in? I'm like, yes, is there a problem? He said, no, ma, I won one of the prizes.
Oh, a girl?
A boy this time.
Boy.
This was a boy. This was when we were instituting in the secondary school. That he won one of the prizes. And so you see, these are things that encourage you. And the girls, you see some of them break down, they get emotional because they are like, this is what is happening in my life. Because also, I bring role models. Females who are successful in STEM. Okay? Medical doctors, engineers,
to speak to the girls
and interact with them, because the role of the place of role models in encouraging girls into STEM cannot be overemphasized. If I can do it and I'm able to juggle family, work, science, and I'm a woman, if I can do it, then you can do it. That goes a long way to really encourage and ginger them. So these are some of the things, you know, I have been doing.
Okay. Would you speak more about the outcome, like girls who have taken up on that encouragement as a result of your intervention efforts?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that I have noticed. You know, when you start in the primary school, it's like a drop in the ocean. Yeah. Or how do I say?
Yeah, but it's a seed zone.
It's a seed zone.
I prefer to see it as a seed zone.
Yeah. Someone said before you see the results when you start with primary school, it's like boiling the ocean. It will take a long time for the ocean to boil. But so the results I see, you know, are more in the tertiary institutions. Girls that would want to drop out.
So the retention
is aspect. Okay, girls that would want to drop out, they would not know. But then when we attended the STEM seminar and we are fired, I would stay on. In fact, one engineer, a girl, she has now graduated. She told me that, mommy, if not for those STEM interactions, I would have dropped out. At a point, I was wondering, why am I in the engineering class? But after I interacted with the role models, I was encouraged to stay on. And also the retention aspect. There is a lady, a colleague of mine. She is a physicist. And she was fed up with all the negatives around her. That she was a university lecturer. She said she was leaving physics. Why? She said everybody makes her feel, what are you doing here? That no woman should be. Where did this woman come from? From nowhere. She's coming. You know that kind of thing.
I know that kind of thing. I'm sure you know that kind of thing.
Yeah,
because when you were when you were an undergraduate and you were doing chemistry education, not pure chemistry, and you were just in the midst of elderly people, and they were all saying, what are you doing here? What's this small girl doing here? You shouldn't be in this class. You should be in pure chemistry, so that from there you can go on to be a chemical engineer. And you had this passion. You just wanted to be a chemistry teacher, right?
I just wanted to teach chemistry. I just wanted to teach chemistry. So you see, these are some of the things.
What became of your physics colleague? Physicist colleague?
As at the last time we spoke, she was still lecturing. But I must confess, this this year, I have not spoken with her since February So I don't know. I hope she's still
But
teaching.
it does look like
It
It
worked.
worked.
Interaction. Worked, yeah. She was so grateful. She was encouraged, and she said she was, kind of fired to continue after I interacted with her a couple of times. So it's working.
Yeah,
These are some of the things that encourage me and make me stay on.
Stay on, sis. Stay on. Then can you just share a bit about your being in that class? How did you manage to keep your head and stay on in that class when most of all your younger colleagues were doing chemistry, pure chemistry?
Okay. Okay, for my first degree.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yes.
my love for chemistry teaching started when I was in the secondary school. As we were graduating, going to write JAM, my principal, Mr. DJ Bullock, a British, full-blooded, bless his soul, he's late now. He said all his best students must put in for medicine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I want to do chemistry. Not only do chemistry, but teach chemistry. I want to become a chemistry teacher.
I'm sure he must have been so disappointed.
He was exasperated. I mean, he was exasperated. But I meant business. I meant what I was saying, because that was the love I had for. That was how big it was, the love I had for chemistry. So I went on, and then I went into chemistry education, and it was strange because then it's people that went to pivotal school, the people that on the job in service that will come for in service training in education. So I was a very small girl in the class. What's this small girl looking for in this class? Go and do pure chemistry. You were not properly advised or something, but I knew what I wanted to.
Yeah, I asked that question because there could be girls, and not only girls, maybe young people who want to teach chemistry, and their parents are saying, no, want you to be a chemical engineer, or your colleagues are doing this, so they can be a doctor. All of those are good.
Yeah, very good.
They're all very good. But we do need the chemistry teachers.
We need
chemistry teachers to keep being chemistry teachers.
We need good chemistry teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers that are fired with a passion to teach, really teach, not teachers that come into teaching because they didn't get any more lucrative job. Yeah, so that is something that we must really pay attention to. We need teachers that will teach with passion, teachers that are teachers. I usually would say teachers are born, not made. That is contestable anyway. So if you have the passion, then you were born to be a teacher. If you don't have, you can develop it. You can develop it. Yeah, with practice and interest, you can become a good teacher. So
thank you so much. One thing that I appreciate, I appreciate a lot of things in what you said.
Yes.
But you had that challenge at the start where your father wouldn't let you go to school.
Yeah.
And then you were able to struggle through after a hunger strike and the support of a good mother. Beat that situation and go to school and become who you wanted to be.
Yes.
A lot of people would say, oh, well, I'm not going to let that happen to my children. I'm going to give them free flow so that they can go to school. And that would be a great thing to do. But you went beyond that. You're now expanding that to other children everywhere.
Yes.
That is a great, having greater impact on your world, not just keeping it to your family, but sharing it everywhere.
Thank you.
Good job.
And may I just give this last line? Is it epilogue or
whatever you call it? It's in YouTube now. I don't know because this is going on YouTube.
Oh wow, exactly. So you see, I didn't. The interesting thing is that I didn't bring shame and disgrace to my father.
You did.
Yes,
you didn't.
I did well, and then I went on to graduate with secondary school with aggregate 13 distinction.
University first class.
Best graduating student in the master's class, and then 5.0 out of 5.0 in the. So I didn't bring instead of in the PhD class. So instead of shame, I brought my father fame.
Yeah, sure.
To the glory of God. So unfortunately, he died after while I was doing my masters. So he didn't live to see me become a professor. But at least he saw a bit of it. That I got married, very legally, and when the time was right, I didn't get pregnant out of wedlock. I didn't become promiscuous. I didn't bring him shame and disgrace.
And
So
you
I'm
have
happy.
given him
Yes.
grandchildren who are also doing very well in their chosen profession.
To the glory of God.
Yes. First class people. First class family. Well
we
done.
thank God. We give all the glory to God. Yes.
There we go. Me and my chemist, my professor of chemistry friends. I can't count how many of them. I'm so blessed. But I've been here with 3 of them now. And I hope you've enjoyed us today. What are you going to do about it? Be an encourager. Be your best and encourage others around you to be their best. Thank you. And I'll see you again in my next video. Till then, have you subscribed? Share this. Drop your comments and bye.
Bye.